Good stuff. Okay. Andre, are you there?
I am here, yes.
We left that a little bit close. I tried to do something with minutes to go before the live stream started, and then I backed out at the very last minute.
Oh, are we live on all platforms again?
I think we are. I think we are pretty much live everywhere. I'm just going to check, make sure everything is actually working as it's supposed to. Let's just double check. It says live here. Yeah, we've got 19 people tuned in. So yeah, hello. If you're watching us, let us know where you're from. Let us know if the comments are working. I'm just going to quickly go and check all the locations to make sure everything is behaving like it should be. So here we go. I can see, yeah, we're live. Pretty good bit rate across all the channels. It's one of those things where even though it tells you everything is working, you kind of want to go and check everything yourself, just for good measure. So that's good. We're all good.
The Iron Viz is going to start in, what is it, like 14 minutes now?
14, 15 minutes, exactly. So
we got people coming in.
What I thought we'd do is go to the Viz gallery. Have you been to the Viz gallery?
I have not been there now.
Right, so if you've not been to the Viz gallery for the Tableau conference, this is an absolute must. I'm just going to put it on the screen now, and then we're going to switch over and do a little bit of a shared experience over on the Viz gallery. So the Viz gallery has been put together by Tableau. It's essentially a virtual version of the actual gallery that they build at conference. So the virtual gallery is in essence just a physical gallery with beautiful vizzes printed out, hung up on the wall. This is the virtual edition for everyone who's joining virtually. And I like the little touches. I like that they've got the Mandalay Bay in the background there. It's very, very cool. So you can absolutely browse, have a look around, make sure you check all these vizzes. I did actually do a bit of a live stream covering at least 10 of these, and then I realized it was going to take a lot longer. So part 2 of that will come soon. But if you head to Gallery B, this room is dedicated to the Iron Viz finalists when we look over here on the wall. So this is the Iron Viz wall, as it were. So what we're going to do before the live stream starts is we're just going to check these out, make sure that they are people have seen them, because I think they're all beautiful works of art. Pretty much everything that makes it to the Iron Viz final always has more to it than the Viz suggests. So I think it's well worth having a proper look. So the first one we're going to have a look at is by CJ Mays. So in this Viz, CJ visualizes the experiences and stories of influential individuals on the Diary of a CEO podcast. So this is a podcast that I think is it on Spotify only? I'm not sure if it is only on Spotify. I've seen it on Spotify. I'm not sure if it's on Apple Podcasts, but he's gone in and I think he's pulled data from the actual podcast. So if we click on it, it actually opens up the Viz in Tableau Public. It's a little bit of a better experience.
Nice.
And if you're logged into Tableau Public, you can actually go in and edit this in the browser and have a play with it. I won't do that now because knowing me, it'll probably not load or log in. And I'll just probably put myself in trouble for the stream. But this is an absolutely beautiful Viz. I love the design. If you actually look at CJ's profile, he's a big fan of dark mode. If I just go back up and we just go to his profile and you scroll down, in the past, he's been a big fan of dark mode vizzes. So you can see more recently they're a little bit paler, but he basically only did dark mode vizzes right at the beginning, right? And I think it's always important to actually go back and look at some of the first vizzes people built, right? Because it shows a story and it shows a journey of the techniques they learnt along the way and how it sort of led to what they can do today and how they've sort of really, done a lot of work to actually get to these amazing sort of pieces of work that we now see here. I think it's easy to see the final product and think, wow, this guy's super talented, but actually people just practice and they get there eventually. So that's...
we said that to the data school consultants as well, right? Just don't delete old vizzes that you have on your profile because it shows progress.
Exactly.
Mainly people interested in.
Although if I go to the very first thing by CJ, it looks pretty good. I think CJ's definitely doing a little bit of cleansing. We'll have to ask him at some point.
Before the stream, I had a quick look on his website as well. So if you can drop his website, I can put the link maybe.
Yeah,
he has some cool interviews there as well.
He's not got it on. Oh, here we go. Maybe this is it. Yeah, here's his website. So
yes.
Absolutely great. It's a beautiful design website as well. He's also done a lot of good interviews with various people in the community. So really, really good blog to check out and absolutely get stuck in. And he sort of talks about some of the techniques as well. So you can see here he's got the Iron Viz feeder resources that he used, and he basically walks through how he's built everything, the fonts in Figma, how he set everything up. It's a real sort of work of art, actually sort of tearing this down and really getting there and finding inspiration as well from lots of different places. So definitely go and check this out. So absolutely fantastic. If we go to the next person, let's go back. The next one here on the wall is by Will Sutton, Interpreting Art. Now I think this is probably one of the funniest ones, because initially I just judged this by the cover and I was like, okay, where's the data viz in this visualization? How on earth has this gotten into Iron Viz? So then you have to sort of engage with it a little bit more. So you go through the story, and if I actually just, I'm going to quickly go through this just because of the time. It's actually interactive. So what you need to do is answer the questions, and you're essentially interpreting the art that you're seeing, and you're basically selecting one of these items. So if I go to question 1, I'll interpret this as an uphill struggle. Let's click on that, all uphill. Obviously Tableau Public now deciding to be slow because probably everyone is looking at this now. So all uphill, let's say fight to the last. I'll just click these very quickly so you can see the net effect. Come on, yeah. Let's call this a sports montage. Let's go to question 4. Death by leaf blower. Yeah, I'll take that. Question 5, badly explained climate change theory. I'll take that. And question 6, gone shopping for a zebra. Yeah, I'll do that. Let's see if it'll let me pick that. It didn't pick question 5, so we'll just give Tableau Public a chance to catch up with itself. So come on, badly explained climate change theory. This has to be a really good example of why Tableau Public needs to be more web responsive. But once you've selected everything, you can absolutely hit submit your answers.
Does this doesn't persist somewhere, right? This is literally just the actual dashboard, and then
I think it does. I think it does send the data, because then there's an interactive data viz showing you how your respondents did something. So I'm wondering how he's firing that off. It's obviously one you have to download and see. It might just be firing actions and it's hitting a URL or something, and then that URL is maybe showing you what you've done
like
here.
URL actions maybe. He puts the data in the URL action.
Yeah, or it's just adding your one response to a pool of like 1,000, if that makes sense. So then you see a question breakdown, how you interpreted everything, and the data viz sort of comes to life. So really, really nicely done. Very interesting story. It tells you something about you as well as other people and how they interpret things. I'm always sort of skeptical about very complex chart types, but I think here it does actually help, because the Sankey is vertical, so it actually leads you down the narrative path, if that makes sense. So it's actually sort of guiding you down the page. So I'll give sort of top marks for using that effect to do that exact thing. And then at the very bottom, you can obviously carry on playing around with them. So pretty cool viz, right?
Yeah, Rodrigo is saying that I think he is using a parameter as a database feature.
Okay, yeah. So storing the value in the parameter, yeah.
But that only keeps the state as of how you're interacting.
Your session.
Yeah, it's in the session, so it's not persisting anywhere.
So,
but that's a really cool feature. I think I saw Mark Reed talking about that when it was launched.
Yeah, and then just the very last one. Make sure we leave some time for the build up as well. Kimberly Scott. So this is a visualization about diversity in the art world by examining Australia's Archibald Prize. So I'm taking the Archibald Prize to be an award given to artists, and essentially she's basically taken a deep dive into the representation in that award pool over time, going all the way back here, at least in back into the 1920s, I'm going to guess here. But let's let this load up, and she's come up with her own data viz, and there's a really good narrative story here. There's a legend, there's a little bit of context and explanation, and as you start to sort of go into this, she's actually using the map layers feature to do this. So each particular part of the chart is a layer on a map. So it's a bit of a hack as well, because maps are typically used for displaying maps, but this is a small multiples setup. And then you've got the different layers that you've got here. So you can switch on and off different layers as you work through this viz. So if I, for example, deselect the year of the win, you can see that it turns off a certain aspect of the chart. So I can actually just hone in on a particular part of this viz and customize this just by using the layers functionality. Now, Kimberly has had to use the layers functionality for maps here because this isn't unfortunately available for other chart types. So this is maybe something Tableau should work on, bring this to more chart types so people don't have to sort of do hacks like this to sort of get there. But again, another really creative use of the capability. And this doesn't just stop here. If I keep scrolling down, there's a little bit more towards the bottom. There's a bit more of a drill down into the story. And there's a little bit more context, and you really start to get into the narrative section of the story. So you've got the context, you've got the drill down, and then now you're starting to look at things like specific issues such as diversity around different types of demographics as well. So really, really cool.
Cool, yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what they can produce in 20 minutes, though.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's absolutely fantastic. So let me close these tabs down.
There were some questions coming in through the chat as well.
I was going to suggest maybe we focus a bit on that now. Let me go to the channels as well. Let's make sure we're on channel 1 before we get started, and then we'll switch over to this. And let me just mute this down a little bit here. So, okay. So let's have a look at the chat. Sorry, chat, we haven't had a chance to really sort of dive in. So we've got lots of people joining us from all over the world. People from Jordan. I am from the internet, says Rodrigo, in DC, I assume Washington, DC. Boston, Candice from Minnesota. Candice, you were on last night, I think, so good to see you again. Sweden, hello Tim and Andre from my commute heading home in Paris. Amazing, watching on the commute home. That's fantastic. Oh, that's amazing.
I hope you're not in a car or something. Just safely on the train.
Yeah, safely on the train. Take a picture and tag us on Twitter. Let us know what that looks like. We'll get it up on the end of the stream or something. Carl saying hello. And Rodrigo is talking about parameters, and hi from California from Sasha as well. So absolutely fantastic. So yeah, Jamaica, more people coming in. Ooh, amazing. Nice. I think we might have covered every single country in the world by the end of these 2 days, right? Because we've had some real variety over the last couple of days. It's been fantastic.
Do you know how many countries there are in the world?
I don't know exactly the number because it keeps changing due to political issues around the world, which obviously aren't funny, but nonetheless, yeah, it's not a static number of numbers. So hi guys, joining from India, NYC, amazing. Absolutely. Let us know what you're hoping to get from Iron Viz. Why do you watch Iron Viz? I watch it because I learn so much. For the last 3 years, I've been a judge, not this year though. And actually, when I'm part of the judging process, you get to look at the visualizations and you get to tear them down a little bit. And I'm always learning. I'm always amazed by the tricks that people come up with to get around limitations in the product sometimes, but also innovative uses and ways of applying something to a story, which is pretty cool. So yeah, how about you, Andre?
Mainly around getting inspiration. Like as we saw in the dashboards that you went over earlier, it's like there's so much in there. Yeah. I remember I used to, whenever Iron Viz finished, to just download those workbooks and then have a look at how they've built them. Yeah. And then you can actually see like, hey, that's really complex.
Exactly.
And I remember I was thinking that when I was like kind of preparing for this, like the very first time I watched Iron Viz was back in 2015.
All right.
I don't know if you watched it back then. It was
who was
Shine. He won it with like a really interesting visualization because they had to connect to like some GDELT data, which is like a very large data set about like all the events around the world. It's like a news database.
Yeah.
And back at the time, I was working for like a media company, so that was really interesting because I was spending days preparing these Excel dashboards and stuff.
Yeah.
And someone built this really interactive thing in 20 minutes on stage. And I was like,
Mind
Uh,
blown.
yeah, exactly. I was like, wow, I definitely need to pick this tool up a little bit more.
Exactly. So I'm gonna switch on the stream here. Let's just. I think the previous session is overrunning a little bit. Pretty certain of that. So
Yeah, I am watching on the other social channels, and people on Slack definitely say that it's a really good keynote. So maybe if you have time and you want to see another big keynote, like if you've missed this one, then I would definitely recommend watching it.
yeah.
And Jesse says as well, it's really cool. He thinks like Iron Viz is really about seeing new features being implemented and being used in innovative ways.
Yep.
So I think Lindsay had a good example when she used what was it?
Set actions.
Set actions, of course. Yeah.
Yep. So you use
Um,
set actions to build a dynamic menu rather than the menu system we're used to in Tableau.
yeah,
And she
something
did
like
it.
that.
She did it from food as well. So that was a crazy year because I think we had Hesham, Lindsay, and who was the final contestant? Oh,
The person who won, you mean? I can't
yeah,
remember.
they won with Hesham. It was a
Yeah,
joint win.
yeah,
I
it was a joint
obviously
win. Yeah.
remember Hesham. Oh my god, this has escaped me. This is so embarrassing.
I'm gonna need to quickly Google that
You
one.
Google it and save me, please, before the stream comes down on me.
What was it?
Complete memory
2019, right?
blank. I
Um,
wanna say it's a name beginning with O, but I don't think that's right. Anyway, I'm not gonna try and guess. We'll just
Hashem and Joshua.
Joshua. Yes,
Yeah,
Jess.
Joshua Smith.
Yes. He did a viz about his viz was cool because it flipped. It had like a black and white mode, a dark mode in the middle of the viz, and you could switch the context of the viz by looking at menus that weren't represented in terms of food. So they were looking at world foods, and he had a really cool feature that flipped the whole visualization on its side, talking about menus and world flavors and foods that weren't represented in the data set that they were looking at. So that was a really cool story.
Yeah, I have the. I put the link to the blog post in the chat, so if you can drop that into.
Yeah. You put it in the R chat, right?
Our chat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Which I have lost. Bear with me a second. The stream is really skippy. I don't know what's going on there.
For me, it's fine. I'm seeing. Oh, actually, no, mine's broken as well.
Yeah, I think
Maybe just watch it on a little bit lower quality. For me, they're walking off stage now,
they're
so you
walking
might
off
be a bit.
stage. I'm a bit behind, definitely. Oh god.
Yeah.
Let me just refresh the page and let's do that. And then
Yeah. So Carl earlier asked what people are excited for. He mentioned Tableau Prep.
yeah,
Which is definitely oh yeah and, sorry, Nisa was just saying Lindsay's tip is to drag calculations from Notepad directly into desktop, which was, I think, pretty cool.
yeah, that was pretty amazing. She had all the calcs ready
Yeah,
to go and she just sort of dropped them in really quickly.
yeah.
So
So
that
yeah, Carl
was
mentioned Tableau Prep. What do you think about Tableau Prep in this session?
it's a super interesting one. I think it does need to. I think what they should do, because data prep takes. I don't think data prep would fit into the time frame nicely, but it could be a requirement for getting your data ready for Tableau, and have the contestants publish their vizzes as like a virtual element before the event. So do like a video saying, okay, here's what I did with my data prep, and maybe have them build it over a sort of a refined time limit. So there is a little bit of time pressure still, but it's not live in front of the audience, because I think the building of the story is very different from I think the more deliberate thought process that's sometimes trial and error as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So besides Tableau Prep, do you think we're going to see any new tools being introduced here? Because we've not seen anything from Salesforce, of course, in Iron Viz. Do we think we see something? Maybe there's like an Einstein prediction being thrown in or something.
I'm not sure. Again, it's got to fit into the context, and I wonder if Iron Viz is about wowing people or if it's about showcasing, or is it both? What do people think? Let us know in the comments. It's one of those interesting. It's one of the. I don't know. I personally wouldn't get excited about watching someone build a data model
Yeah.
at a conference. in front of 1,000 people. I would get excited about someone building a visual. You see people running in here in the
that's so
background.
cool. I was just looking at that. Everyone gets like, is that like those when you go to basketball, they shoot these T-shirts in the crowd. You think it's like they
T-shirt cannon,
like a T-shirt cannon. Yeah.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Let me turn the volume up here and get this going as well.
When they need it in Ukraine. Yeah, and that is, it's just so powerful. And you think about our communities. And we were talking yesterday about even in like regular businesses that 70% of people don't even have information. And then you think about what's happening in communities and what we can do to impact communities and how much what we're doing and how much
these interviews were very well received.
Absolutely. These guys are absolutely blowing out the park. I don't know the lady on the left, but I think the lady on the right is Caroline Yam.
It's just it's so powerful.
Yeah, especially, it's crazy to think this is just around data. Like, data is so important in the undercurrent of everything.
Yeah.
Bam, bam. Then let's jam, because Iron Viz is coming up next.
It's crazy to hear,
that sounds like a song.
Well, the thing with Iron Viz always was when we went to the conference, the keynotes were all like quite formal, and then Iron Viz came down, you just walked in with like a drink in your hand and some weird lightning that you had to swing.
Exactly.
It was like super relaxed to look at it.
Yeah.
It's a different atmosphere than with the real keynotes.
Yeah, exactly. Let me open my restream here.
Yeah, you need to. One of the things Carl is saying as well, trying like solving data problems on the fly would be interesting, right?
Right, but I think that's more like an Ultrix speed challenge than it is like a thing, and maybe that's what we need, something different, like
well, where you give people a data set and they need to analyze it and find a number or something. I don't know if that's a very exciting way, but and who has the most creative or fastest way of finding this data or something. But then on the other hand, this is very much like positioned as the visualization competition. So you could maybe have another competition going on. I know.
I'm going to turn it down before we get started here. So interesting.
Let's hope no Spanish translations today.
We started off well so far, so let's get our fingers crossed. The live stream is really struggling. I don't think it's my bandwidth. I'm just going to triple, quadruple check.
Mine is fine, so I don't want to be
bearer of bad news, right? There we go. Let's go.
Yes, I can see the timer on the back. You're on 1:30. I'm on 1:12, so you're like 20 seconds behind.
Yeah, let me do this. Are we saying data or data?
So if people are a part of the Slack channels, in channel 1, they just posted a Iron Viz at home scorecard, which you can score each contestant based on analysis, design, storytelling, and then that way you can come up with the score and who's your favorite.
Nice.
That's really cool.
Here we go. I'm just killing 100 things now. There is a lot more excitement today than compared to yesterday as well, which is kind of good to see.
Yeah, you're still about 30 seconds behind on mine.
All right. What is going on today? Let me do this.
Everyone's getting excited. 4. There's a countdown happening.
Good.
0, 1, and they're live. There you go. I'm just checking out Twitter, and there's loads of people like they have these clappers they're using.
Oh yeah.
Hello and welcome to Iron Viz 2022. Please welcome to the stage your host for the event, Andy Cutbury.
Woo!
We have special effects today. Yay! It's finally worked.
I love it.
Can you put up Andy's audio? I think your special effects are going crazy.
No, that's them.
Really?
Yeah, it's them in the background. The air horn stopped. My applause was going on loop. That's correct.
The question is, how many Iron Vizzes have you attended?
How many of you attended?
Iron Viz? Since 2015.
If this is Iron Viz
7.
for you, welcome to Iron Viz Stadium. We are going to have an amazing time.
Yeah, Envy is alone. Rodrigo was saying he's alone. So
Yeah.
Keisha has moved on to another company, so she's
Right.
not joining us today.
True dating pros, because you managed to aggregate sum of hosts equal to.
It is strange seeing Andy on his own.
I did have.
At least he has more tax than yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday he had to perform, right?
Yeah.
Archana, where are you?
What's he looking for?
And hello, Iron Viz. Yes, I was supposed to be Andy's co-host.
Oh, there we go.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to travel to Vegas. I'm devastated not to be there in the room with you all celebrating the glorious return of Iron Viz to the stage. However, this does mean I can get my comfy clothes on, join our at-home audience, and tune in from London to cheer up.
Amazing, amazing.
Now, I'm not going to leave you stuck with Andy for an hour. I'm delighted to say we have a new co-host.
Ooh.
Andy, shall we introduce her?
Let's do it. So thank you, Archana. Hello at home. We're sorry you can't be here. But the good news is, at the last minute, one of the newest members of the Tableau Community team has stepped in. Please, everybody, give an Iron Viz welcome for the new Iron Viz co-host, Community Manager at Tableau, Danica Harrod.
Woo!
Can you increase the feed a little bit, the audio?
Big intro, right?
Hello, Danica.
Hello, Andy.
Harmony restored, and yes, nobody needs an hour of Andy. Thank you very much for filling in. And thank you all for joining us here in person, and everybody like Archana, who is back at home watching the virtual conference. Now, it's that time once again when the best and brightest go head-to-head in the preeminent data visualization competition.
That's right. It's 2022, and this is
Iron Viz!
Woo!
All right, everybody, listen up. Class is in session. Take
Nice.
careful notes.
Yeah, you are going to be quizzed on the following, so pay attention. Somebody will be crowned the 2022 Iron Viz champion, having schooled his or her competitors with a dazzling display of data. Viz.
Yes, and the winner receives not only top marks, but $10,000
So the
in
audio
prize
for
money
Iron
and
Viz is being
$5,000
mixed slightly
for the
weirdly,
donation
so
to the charity of their
their
choice.
audio
Yeah,
is
second
quiet,
place
but the
is a
music is really
$5,000
loud.
cash prize
So
and $2,000
I've turned it
for their
up,
charity.
but when the
Third
music
place is a
comes in,
seat
it
at
might
the
be
back of the
loud,
class.
just for
No, I'm
anyone.
just kidding, just kidding.
Just be
Third
aware.
place gets $2,000 cash and $1,000 to the charity of their choice.
But the lesson,
I think this is all right.
best
Yeah,
data Viz
good.
built in 20
Yeah.
minutes is going to take the top prize.
Our contestants will be judged in 3 areas: analysis, design, and storytelling. They can earn a total of 100 points. The judges will allocate 90 of those points, and the last 10 points are up to the audience.
Nice.
You can vote for your favorite Viz.
And of course, we want to know what you are all thinking during the whole competition, whether you're here or on the virtual event. Please get yourselves on Twitter, on Instagram, share some selfies of you at home or in the crowd, use the hashtag IronViz, and don't forget to connect on Slack to chat with your fellow attendees.
Alrighty, pop quiz.
Put the
If you think you're the answer to
scorecard
this
in
question,
the
please shout
chat.
it out.
So if anyone
How
wants
many
to pick the
total
scorecard
points
up,
can each
you
contestant
can
win?
drop it.
Anyone? Yes, good job, gold star.
They're all listening.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
good. I'd
put
have
this
a
in
listen
the
to school.
stream chat as well.
How many, this
Yeah.
is a harder question, how many
I need
times
to
have
put
you
on my
crowned
headphones.
an Iron Viz champion? Oh, I heard it.
I heard it too.
Neil Richards down at the front, 13. This is the 11th in the US, and we've done 3 in Europe. All right. Now, can anybody guess what this year's data set might be about?
Iron Viz.
Oh, no.
Oh,
They got it.
okay, that was very fast. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, this year's data set surrounds the global impact of education on a given region's demographics.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
and,
a super
yeah, thanks,
detailed
mate.
response.
Analysis, storytelling is the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Andy, I think we have some people to meet.
We do, our star pupils.
Let's meet our vizzers. The three
Here we go.
The 3 contestants competing today earned their place on stage by winning the Iron Viz qualifier competition earlier this year.
You ready to meet them?
Let's go.
Alrighty. First up, coming to us from London, England, CJ Mays.
Let's go.
Hi, I'm CJ, Tableau Visionary Ambassador. Welcome to Greenwich. Hi, I'm CJ Mays, and I'm recording this video from here in Greenwich, London. I actually used to live about an hour east of here, back in a county called Essex, but moved out with
My
my
hometown.
best friends
Love it.
from school.
Hi, this is baby 2022.
I've been using Tableau for about 2 years now, and I'm eternally grateful to be named Tableau Public Ambassador at Tableau Visionary this year. It seems like a lot of luck has been going my way, and that's always handy when you're out in Vegas. My chosen charity was Plan International. I have the utmost appreciation for the work they do helping some of the most vulnerable people in the world,
Amazing.
while supporting children's rights and gender equality. This is the workstation where dreams are made. We have CJ-Mays on the right, the feeder on the left-hand pane, a box of wine just in case things get a bit rusty, aqua for the morning, and this Hans-Rosling book that inspired my build today. You'll see that there's no keyboard, no mouse, and that's because we always like to stay on the move. Come check out some of the other places I like to work.
Ah.
Love it.
He did a tour of London here. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So
It's really
visiting
nicely done.
the Queen.
He's really on the go.
Some people think that map layers is my favourite chart type. Check out this Venn diagram my mum sent me.
Aww.
Thanks, Mum. Feedback is a really important part of the Viz life cycle, and I had planned on getting some feedback from the Queen herself, but in fact she wasn't in, so I was left with the next best alternative, my flatmate.
Love
Let's
it.
hear what he has to say. Arj, how do you reckon I'll get on in the competition?
Well, you probably lose, but at least you're in Vegas.
Oh wow, that's a huge support
Cheers.
over there.
Yeah,
Let's hope some of that luck and success rolls into the Iron Viz final, and we might be celebrating like this tonight.
yeah. Love it.
So
All
that's
right.
actually really fun.
Now, you might catch him making some data viz out on the strip, but for now, here in person, let's welcome CJ to the stage. CJ! Next up, from Melbourne, Australia, let's meet Kimberly Scott.
Yeah.
Nice.
The hashtags are coming up on screen, so
My
be
name
sure
is Kimberly
to
Scott, and I'm from Melbourne,
take those down.
Australia. I lived in Melbourne pretty much my whole life, and it's such a great part of the world with beautiful beaches, national parks, and delicious food. For fun, besides personal visiting, of course, I like to spend time with my family. We go out on day trips to the beach, take
amazing.
drives to national parks, go bike
Oh,
riding,
cool. How is
and
this?
generally exploring
Yeah, beach huts.
our wonderful city. I've
You need
been
to go
using
to
Tableau
Seaside
now
more,
for
Andre.
4.5 years, and I just love how
I know.
easy it is and the fact that you can build almost anything. My favorite feature of Tableau is the show hide containers. I don't use this feature often, but it's really useful when needed. For example, in my Iron Viz qualifier viz, where I use show hide containers to add extra context to the milestone Archibald win.
It's
In
really
this
cool.
competition, I'm proud to represent Australia and the APAC region, as well as my wonderful family. Really hoping to do them proud. my charity is the UNHCR, the UN
Oh, yeah.
Refugee Agency.
Cool. My fiance used
This
to work
cause
there.
hits really close to home for me, and you know, right now with all that's happening around the world, Ukraine, Syria, Afghanistan, not to mention the increase in climate refugees. This year's Iron Viz topic of education is a really interesting one. Education in countries such as Australia is taken for granted, but working on this topic and the data set, it's really forced me to examine and take stock of many things in my life, but more on that later.
Nice.
I've not seen someone who looks like me on the Iron Viz stage, so winning this competition would mean so much.
Yeah.
I never thought I would see myself here, and to be honest, it still doesn't feel real. And I know it sounds corny, but I hope that I can inspire my girls and to show them that they can achieve anything they dream of. I entered Iron Viz to challenge myself, and I did that. I entered to learn, and I did that too. So in my mind, just being on the stage in the finals, it means the world already.
Yeah, achieved a lot so much. Yeah.
I hope she's going to win.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, here from all the way down under, please welcome to the stage, Kimberly.
That was bad Australian accent. That's amazing.
And last but not least, from Suffolk in the UK.
Suffolk?
S-U-F-F-O-L-K, Suffolk.
Suffolk.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'll breathe. Okay. Now,
I think I might just say
from
Suffolk.
Suffolk in the UK,
Suffolk.
let's welcome Will Sutton.
Love it. Good UK representation here.
Yeah.
Love it. Cool dog. Stayed at the back.
Hi, I'm Will Sutton. I'm from the countryside of Suffolk in the United Kingdom. It's a wild and lonely place out here, I've got to say. #1 spot for social distancing. I enjoy keeping active.
A good spot for social distancing. I love
think
it.
Will's dog,
Usually
I think,
they
is
stay in one
featured
piece.
more than
So I was with Tableau
than anyone
about 8
else.
years ago and was blown away
Love
by
it.
the interactivity even then. And along that time, there's been so many new features that have come along that really enable you to do so much more with the tool.
Amazing.
I suppose I'm representing anybody with a bit of ambitions, bit of dreams, anyone that just wants to be better than they were yesterday. I'm from a small part of the world, and people around here don't think that you could win a competition and go to Vegas. So I'm here for those
Oh, wow.
people
Okay.
beyond the borders and think, what can I do?
Lots of support over there in Suffolk.
Everybody else. For my charity, I picked the UN Refugee Agency. I see a lot.
Another
Ooh,
UNHCR.
they're making chances to win some money.
Yeah, they're doubling down.
They've
They've been to Vegas, clearly.
Possible. Winning for me just proves the strength of this community. I mean, I didn't start working in
Daniel,
areas
we're
of
all
sort of
super
visualization,
geeky,
but I was able to
but
pick up
probably not
things
as
and learn
geeky
from
as
people in this
these
community.
three on stage. They're
Now I'm
even
here.
more geeky.
To also say
So, yeah,
here for
love it.
me, I think it's more just the journey. I'm just here to prove that putting the work in, putting the hours in does. pay
Absolutely,
off
Sophie.
eventually, and
It's
you
very
can
easy to
accomplish
forget
whatever
while you're at conference that, you know, we all have responsibilities beyond just Tableau,
All
right?
right.
So, absolutely.
Let's hear it
And
for Will.
she's on
Give it
stage.
up.
Hopefully they've. She's going to pull through and win.
Woo! What a high five there.
Contestants, how are you all feeling? CJ?
What is
Who's the
Suffolk?
people among the three of you?
I think you're looking right at him.
Oh, wow.
Kimberly,
Oh.
how do you feel? Have you been burning the midnight oil?
I have been, yes.
Yeah, very good. And Will, what about you? You're going to be punching above your weight today?
My punch is
Oh god, what's up with all of these
just like my viz.
sayings?
Love it!
Yeah.
Love it!
Fabulous. Now our contestants have not been studying alone. Working alongside each contestant is their study buddy, trusted advisor, and sometimes, let's be honest, stress ball, their sous-vissers. Each sous-visor is a long-standing member of the Tableau community, bringing the product expertise and moral support our visors need.
Yeah, and they are not only providing this routing for their player, they're going to be providing insightful commentary for us all during the build. So, let's bring on the sous-visors.
Boom.
First up for Team Will, give it up for Mark Bradburn from Twinsburg, Ohio. Woo!
Let's go.
Lighting shotgun with Nina, with Kimberly is Nina Nguyen from Sydney.
Love it.
And sous-vising for CJ is Doris Courage from Berlin.
Didn't they in the past have like a chef hat as well? They were wearing,
Yeah, they did.
right?
Yeah. They've gone a little bit lighter on it.
Okay, here we go. Contestants, you are going to have 20 minutes to get your builds done.
20 minutes.
You're
That's
about
tough.
to go head-to-head in the ultimate display of Tableau skills. Are you all ready?
Here we go.
All right. Okay, class and everyone at home, count down with us.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. There they go.
And they're off. Now, just in case you failed the pop quiz earlier, class, our visitors are being judged solely on what they create in the next 20 minutes using analysis, design, and storytelling, followed by their presentation they'll be giving at the end, which is up to 4 minutes long.
Yeah, now it's time to meet our judges.
So,
Iron Viz veterans.
oh, the
You'll be able
judges.
to see the judges table here at the front. How many judges do we normally have?
4.
3. Excellent data analysis. How many judges are at the table? 2.
2.
Wow, red bunch.
N is less than 3. So, alas, just like Archana, one of our judges had to cancel their travel at the very last minute.
No doubt.
Last year's Iron Viz winner, Lisa Trescott, was supposed to be here and in person, but just like Archana, Lisa's currently unable to join us, but she is honoring her Iron Viz judging duties from home.
Nice.
So, hello, Lisa. But we have good news. We found a substitute at the last minute who we think just
Oh, we got
might
Ravi Mystery
have
in the chat
qualifications
again.
needed to fill the chair at the table. So please
Love it.
welcome
Ravi's
back
proud.
to the stage, Professor Hannah Fry.
Love it. It's pretty cool.
Professor, it is so great to have you here. How are you feeling about taking on this extra, unexpected burden of responsibility today? Oh, hang.
So one of the
Yeah, look.
Oh, so in all the secret things I say no one can hear. I see. This is such a treat for me, and I thought I'd come and help out with the British pincer movement.
Yeah.
yeah, we're pretty people, yeah. We should have hosted this in Suffolk, maybe. This whole
Yeah, we
thing.
should have done. Yeah.
So sorry, but thank you so much, Hannah. And Lisa, we know you're watching from home. We wish you well. Our next judge needs no introduction. Here for the, how many times has it been?
So I've been a judge of every U.S. Iron Viz, but
Jock, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Doris is in with some commentary straight away. We'll come back to you in a minute, Jock.
Sorry to interrupt, Jock.
It's just interrupting Jock McKinley here.
A tile map of Africa. And what's great about this from a storytelling perspective is that each country has equal visibility. And this is a really, really difficult chart to
that's
make.
pretty cool.
CJ
Yeah.
uses
So one of the
Tableau
things
to densify
I
the
hope they
data.
might do
So it's
next
actually
year
made
is
up
because
of
we're all
all
virtual,
those
like
research
they could
thousands
have
of
like a stream of what we're
five
seeing
map
there,
layers to
but
create a
also
great
3
light
separate
design
streams
that's
of
gonna highlight
screens.
Exactly. Exactly. Literally, I've suggested this before on Twitch. There's something called squad hosting, where you can host the 4 different views, the central stream, and then each of their screens, and you can choose which one you look at.
Yeah, that would be great.
Or even all 4 of them at the same time.
Good, thank you, Jock.
Yeah.
So how many times have you been here? Do you remember the first time?
So 2011 was the first Iron Viz.
No, Mark Bradburn is
I'm going to
waiting.
interrupt you again.
Jock's not going to get a chance.
Thank you for your contribution.
What's up, Mark?
What's going on?
I feel so bad interrupting Jock, but I got to point this out. So Will is using background images,
Right.
which was actually the original way Tableau users would get maps before maps were actually in the product.
We increase the
And
volume a
what
little
he's doing
bit.
is actually stacking different background images.
It's not me.
And
It's
parameter
the stream
driven,
audio.
and these images are actually gonna
They're
frame
being
this
quietly
visual
mixed in. I
to
can't
really
increase it more than I already
put
have.
bookends around the story. It's going to be amazing.
Amazing. Oh, okay. Jock.
It's been 11 Iron Vizzes that I've judged.
Right, so this
Amazing.
is number 12. Amazing. Fantastic. Well,
Love how you
great.
just got it all in one
Thank you
sentence.
so much, Chuck.
Yeah.
And back on the judges panel
Never
this
mind the
year is
story
Taha,
that came with
Kimberly,
it.
Director of Tableau Public. Give it up.
Oh, it's a bit cold over there, I think.
Taha, I'm going to remember to ask you the right question this time. Tell me something about Iron Viz and Tableau Public and that perfect marriage.
Well, Iron Viz was born on Tableau Public, and it kind of arose.
Our audio is gone.
No, it's back. I think it was them.
Interpret the exact same data set. And what's been amazing is just the spotlight on the enormous talent and creativity of this amazing community.
Amazing. Great. And any comments on what you're seeing in the build so far?
You know, we've been watching all three of these contestants over the years as they've developed and grown skills, and I would say that each one of them has kind of
Ravi's
adopted
spoiling
a
the stream,
certain
'cause we can't see
signature
what he's
style.
saying.
So I'm really curious to see how that's going to come across. I know.
Well, we have
CJ,
Ravi on the
is
chat,
always
so if
trying
Ravi just
new
keeps on talking
crazy
what we
types
see on
of
the screen.
charts. Kimberly,
Yeah, Ravi can
she
take
has
over.
this deceptively simple way of just showing inspiring data insights.
Can I just say how
and
crazy it is?
Will,
They're
he
all
just does this
building
crazy stuff with
dashboards right
Tableau
now.
that
I'm
no one
just
has
still
ever done
taking
before.
the environment
and
in.
so I'm
They're just
really, again, curious
super
to see
focused building
how they're
stuff.
going to lean into their strengths for this
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah, I actually want to go to
I'm just
Dina.
gonna
I
refresh
see
the
Kimberly's
stream
just
because I'm
formatted all her text
like it's
twice.
not.
Is she just trying to show off?
It's a bit
or
slow.
is,
1 second.
So we can't read any of the text, or is there a method behind this?
Going to keep it a secret until the very last minute there, Andy. No, what Kimberly's doing is she's building all her vizzes in white text. It's because she's going to drop them all on a dark background.
Yeah.
And she shall shed some light on that a little
That'd be
later.
a cool thing
Hannah,
to have on Tableau,
sounds like
just
we're gonna
the
see some dark
opportunity to
backgrounds,
change
some
the
light
canvas color
backgrounds
so
for
you can see
visualizations. You had dark
white text
backgrounds on
rather
your
than
slide
having to put it
yesterday.
on a dashboard
Is
to
there a
then see
reason
it.
for that? Do you have a preference?
I think on a screen, it looks quite nice when you just have the clear crispness of the lighter text coming out. But I think, you know, it depends.
Oh, they're already giving commentary while they're building.
Yeah.
Do you think requirements will be changed at minute 18 and they need to do something else, like a real life use case there?
And let's not forget our fourth judge, our audience
Love
here
it.
with us today, and those of you tuning in from home. Yeah! In just a moment, we will share with you how you can text your vote and help
Everyone
pick
else.
this year's
Yeah.
Iron Viz champion. All right, Andy, let's take it back to
Yeah.
our two visitors. Let's see what's up.
We've already done 7 minutes.
Wait, hold on,
so
look.
much stuff.
So there's something pretty crazy going on in CJ's build there. That's
what's
curvy
CJ doing?
lines. What
Let's take
am
a
I
look.
seeing,
Come on.
Doris?
Who's directing the stream?
These curvy
Show us
lines
the
are
goods.
actually a violin chart. And for those
Can
of
we
you that
see
might not be
something
as
of this-
familiar
of
with
the
that,
screen?
it's
Exactly,
essentially a
yeah,
box
yeah.
and whisker plot showing distribution. But what's great about this, instead of a box and whisker plot, is it allows you to see the previous and current values and actually be able to compare them, which wouldn't be quite as simple to do with a box and whisker plot.
Right.
And this is, again, very advanced, but it's real harmony of both form and function.
Yeah.
Form and function.
What do we think, judges? Do we have opinions on violin graphs?
Form and function. Let's talk about it.
So I buy the before and after it seems to work really well in a violin chart. So yeah.
I'm a big fan of them, actually. I really like them. I think that they contain more information than a box and whisker because you can see the actual shape of the distribution. I think the only downside to them is that sometimes they can make it look as though there's data where there isn't.
Right.
Because you're smoothing
Change
out
it.
the shape of the distribution.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm a big fan of them.
Just
I
say
think
that,
they're
CJ,
very beautiful.
as he's building it.
Fantastic. What about Taha? So CJ's clearly going down gauges and violins. He's sort of diverting from just show me. What do you think?
You know, I'm a big fan of simplicity and not having lots of bells and whistles, but sometimes, you know, these kinds of charts are necessary to tell certain stories. And I know a violin chart is great for showing density. So again, I'm really
Hey,
interested
Ken's
in
in the
how
house.
this plays into it and whether these are truly necessary.
Yeah,
Love
I
it.
think we're seeing a contrast already with Kimberly's Viz. You know, simple dots, right? Yeah. All right. Okay. Where are we?
Come on, show
Mark,
us some screens.
Where's Will up to?
So Will's just continuing to build out his story. Right now, we're working on where we start to see that every data point is a human life, and we're really going to put focus on that.
I hope they're recording each of their
keep your eye on
screens
Will's
and they're going
screen,
to put
you're going to
these
start
up
to see some
later.
amazing things come together really
That's
quick.
going to be necessary, because
All right.
otherwise,
If I'm looking
unless
this
you're
way,
there, you wouldn't
make
have seen
big
how any
actions
of these
so
are
we get
built.
to come to that at the right time.
Andy, I wish that I had known.
Would you enjoy having?
Really amazing.
Would you enjoy having someone actually looking at you the whole time, like the swoosh chat, the scoop vizzes now?
I hate it when
What
clients
is it
do
like
that,
being back
so
on
I
the
don't know
stage
why I
after
love it in
2
front
years?
of thousands of people.
It was nice to get out and put some nice
What they
photos
should
on.
have
You
here
know, I've been
is a
wearing
little
gold
window showing us
That has been
the,
absolutely
you know,
Next year we'll make it pajama themed.
the presentation
Then
and
we
people,
can wear
and
pajamas
just
on stage.
have
Who
the
wants to do a
screens
pajama party
permanently
at
on
Iron Viz
screen,
next
'cause
year?
we've
That
seen
would be
very
so
little
fun.
actual
Oh
building.
yeah.
All right, okay.
And how's Las Vegas?
How's Las Vegas? Do you mean lost wages?
Come on.
In fact, do you know?
Did he say lost your wages?
Vegas with $1 million.
That was Las Vegas.
Come here with $2
Oh
million.
God.
This guy.
You've missed those, right? There's plenty more to come. Got loads.
Animations.
Hannah,
David,
this
are
is your
you in the
first
audience? You
Iron
can see
Viz,
things that we
my
can't
first
see.
Iron Viz hosting.
I'm not sure if
What's been your
David's in the
impression so far
audience
just
now.
of the atmosphere?
Nisa, absolutely.
Okay. I mean, I definitely am in America
At
right
this
now.
rate.
I think that's
We've seen less Viz than
in a very good way, to
Exactly.
be clear,
showcase
in the
yesterday.
best possible way. But I am so impressed with the concentration of the contestants, how they are managing to block all of this out and continue working. I mean,
I think they're missing
I'm in awe. I'm
the
in
dual
awe.
screen setup
What
here.
about you, Jock? What's your take for being back
Last
here
year was
in
really
Iron Viz,
good.
and how do you think the contestants are doing?
So the Iron Viz has had a long history. The first 4 years of Iron Viz was just a breakout session, and then after that we got on the keynote stage, and which is super exciting. And obviously there have been new features developed over the year, like animation. It has been really impactful in Iron Viz, and also each year the contestants do things.
Oh,
Go
this
ahead,
is
Mark.
definitely Gogglebox.
I'm going to Mark. Mark, do you
For
want
those that are not in the
I'm getting
UK,
online.
Gogglebox is something you should definitely check
My
out.
timing is so horrible every time at Jock. But I wanted to point out what Will was doing right now. So he's using one of the newer features of Tableau, which is map layers. But he's using it in a very unconventional way.
Come on, show us.
So he's got his countries, but now he's
There you
added
go.
additional layers using make point calculations. And he's going to be showing lines as well as big angry numbers.
What big angry
Big
numbers?
big
Bands, right?
Bands.
Big ass.
Big angry
numbers,
numbers.
right? Yes, we love those. So hang on, let me clarify. This is one sheet.
One sheet.
I saw a line chart though.
Yeah, there was a line chart. They'll be back.
That's a different sheet.
Just one sheet.
One
It's like chartception.
Chart.
It's like charts within charts.
Chartception.
Good T-shirt.
Yeah, movie. Tableau
Chartception
movie.
T-shirt,
Yeah.
please. Yeah.
Try to hand that
right,
over
so
to the
one-
next person that's going to
Okay.
support this dashboard, right?
Where are we up to?
Yeah.
With Kimberly. Oh, we don't know.
Yeah, Jesse, I agree. I've
There you
just sent a tweet out, hoping
Okay,
someone
so I
sees
do
it.
want to point out that Kimberly is obviously
There's
you
still
can see
time
that
to
she's,
save this.
dropping her visualizations onto her dashboard. And
Here we go.
she's using a series of
The message is getting through
nested
somewhere.
show and hide containers, which is one of her favorite
Are you in the Slack
features,
group, Andre?
of Tableau. She's
Yeah,
mentioned
the
it
Slack
here.
group is
And she's
echoing
using
all
this
of
so
our
that she
Okay,
can
great. So I don't
criticism
need to
around.
one step at a
I might
time.
delete it just to stop being facetious.
No, it's like everyone's like really
She's also
excited
adding
about
more
it.
text to her images, and all of the
But
text
yeah,
that
everyone
we
wants to see what's going on a little bit.
manually here, so that she can
If you like maps
it is
in
for the purpose of
Tableau, you should know
accessibility,
that Kent
which
has
is
had
very
a hand
important to
in some of that features when he worked at Tableau.
So, Taha,
Yeah.
let me come to you, Taha. We've got layout containers, amazing things that people can build in Tableau. How can people go and see some more of this?
That's super easy, Andy. Just go to Tableau Public. Each one of these contestants has their own portfolio of work, and there are 2 million authors on there where you can go and see work and be inspired. You can reverse engineer, learn how to make these. So head on over.
Hannah?
What if
I wonder
wanna
which
see one every
million
day?
authors aren't part of the community that
Well, we have just the thing
Mark
for you,
Nelson was
too.
mentioning yesterday, because he said there's only 1 million.
You can subscribe to
Yeah.
something called Viz of the Day. The Tableau Public Community team curates an amazing, inspiring viz made by our community every weekday, and you can get that sent to your email inbox.
Yeah.
And you can find out more about that at the Viz Gallery in the Data Village. So
And the
go there
virtual
too.
Viz gallery as well.
Hannah,
Do you have a Tableau public account?
Show us the vizzes.
Oh, sorry, my mic's not working.
Putting her on the spot.
Do you think Hannah should register for Tableau Public today?
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, yes.
Okay, you persuaded me. You persuaded me.
I'll tweet out your first viz, don't worry. It'll go viral.
He will tweet out his.
Okay,
it will go viral, yeah, definitely, because Andy has so much more followers than Hannah Fry.
I think we should check in. I actually wanted to ask Doris.
Andy's pretty well connected, you'd be surprised. He's got the followers where it matters.
Is
So.
that
I know, I'm
go
just
in
joking.
line with the theme?
Definitely. So, as you
Ravi, you
correctly
can see more
noticed,
than
it's
we
a
can see right now.
newspaper
I haven't seen
layout,
CJ's viz.
which
so,
is kind of a play on the whole
oh, here we go.
misconceptions and learning through on newspapers and learning things through
Let
the
me get rid
grapevine.
of this
So
briefly.
It's pretty much just a beautiful, design,
Let's make it
and
smaller.
just really highlighting
Put it
simplicity of those
over
three
here.
charts and just making you focus just on the front page of the newspaper.
Wowzers.
That's amazing. And can you what's he doing right now? Is that a navigation button? Can you explain that feature?
Sorry,
A
didn't
navigation button?
Yeah.
The
I don't know.
navigation button.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry, Andy.
It's really hard
You're
to
so
hear
far
on the
away.
stage. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's navigation. So he just focused on, the front and the back page
That
and
was
switching
awkward.
between the two using navigation
Yeah.
buttons.
I didn't get that.
And Africa, that's a map of Africa, but it kind of looks like a bunch of grapes.
Yep, it's a grape-like design. So it looks very grape-like.
That's why it has the violin
For Vegas.
as well, right?
Let's talk a little bit about the pros and cons. of
The
best practice.
tile
I mean,
map
Hannah,
is actually quite
where do you
smart.
sit on,
I really
wacky
like it.
charts or best practice boring?
Oh, wait.
Oh, hang on.
There's
No,
something-
Will,
is that
let's
a
go to
GIF?
Will. What's going on there? Mark?
Is that a GIF?
What just happened with those
What's
icons?
happening?
It's not an animated GIF. What are you talking about? It's 100% Tableau, baby.
Oh. Okay, explain it.
You can't see
Explain
it.
to
Show
me.
us.
So
What?
Will is going to employ animations in a very tasteful way.
Hang on a minute, hang on. Is he also using a regular expression in Iron Viz? Yes! that is
Regex in iron.
You get applause from Hannah Fry if you use a regular
That's-
expression.
That's okay. I mean, what can I possibly say about Will? He's got all the skills. But Will's going to use that animation that you saw briefly, kind of like Viz Bay. He's going to sprinkle that animation on and flavor that Viz. It's going to be beautiful.
Nina, do you think Will has all the skills, or is it Kimberly?
Well, still to be seen. I'm not yet convinced. Kimberly's going to shed some light on what she's doing just in a minute.
There we go. Love it, love it.
I
haven't seen anything.
I'm
Oh,
so
there she
sorry.
is.
We've seen
I
very
forgive you.
little
It's
up
okay.
screen, up close on
so
screen.
in terms of where I stand on more, I guess, technically demanding, complicated plots versus simplicity, I think for me, story is absolutely key. And working out what the story is that you want to tell, and then creating
Yes,
the
Carl.
data that presents that story in
Regex
the
equals
clearest
data
possible way.
prep. I'll take
so
that.
the visualizations that I like the most are the ones where the story kind of hits you very squarely right when you look at it immediately. But I also like the ones where actually there's sort of depth to it. So a visualization where the more you look at it, the more there is to see. So I think that it's I mean, it depends, Andy. I think
It depends.
essentially it
Being a
depends.
consultant.
Yeah, we love that.
And Andy, I want to comment a little bit about animation. So Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. And animation is very effective for storytelling.
Can you increase the
you have to do it well.
comments a little bit?
And literally, we all have powerful visual systems, so we can judge. Everybody in this room can judge whether the animation was done effectively. So.
In what ways can it go wrong?
It will pull your attention, so it can totally damage a story by pulling your attention at the wrong moment.
Yeah, all right.
You know,
That's a good
animation,
point.
I think, is best for a time sequence. So that's what I'll be looking for. Is it going to be a time sequence? And
CJ could
as
probably
I'm
already
looking at the
answer
other
that.
contestants,
Sorry, Will,
actually,
sorry,
it's
could
super
already
interesting
answer that.
because each one has chosen a different way to tell their story. There's animation here. It looks like Kimberly's is a vertical.
Can you already
type of viz,
rerun
and
animations as in,
it seems that
yeah,
CJ's
so there is a
this
button where you just say
horizontal
like, hey, let's rerun it.
So
Okay.
this will be super cool.
I'm
You
excited.
couldn't before.
Oh, sorry. On that animation
previous
point,
release.
I think I agree with you. I think that everything that you include has to earn its place. I think everything has to serve a real purpose.
Yep.
to build up to that final story. And I think that sometimes animation, while it can really detail or give you the understanding of time series data in particular, I think sometimes if it's used unwisely, where it's not really serving a purpose, actually it can be distracting.
Yeah, I noticed CJ's book was inspired by, CJ had the book Factfulness by Hans Rosling, and if anybody hasn't gone and seen Hans Rosling's TED Talks, it's a masterclass in animation.
Yeah.
So,
we are getting down to the wire. Just about a minute left, so I just want to give a reminder to the class that $10,000 is on the line, with $5,000 more going to the charity of the winner's choice, and to all the.
I think that's why they've never won the Champions League at Man City.
Iron Viz trivia in the Slack channel where you can engage with us. Huge shout out to Ginny Bench for that. And now let's just go back to the
turn.
Well, yeah, I think we'll
Ravi must have us muted.
Like
I
CJ,
guarantee he has
Doris,
us muted.
Is he just chilling out there? Is he pretty much finished?
CJ is basically done. He's just making
How much time
sure
have we
that
got? We don't
everything is
even
clean
know.
and polished for the final edition. So he's cool as a cucumber.
30 seconds.
If you're on Twitter, head to my profile and retweet the last tweet I just made about seeing more viz. I hope when they go through the description, you'll actually get to see them.
Any minute now.
I think we're going to be. Are you ready for the end of the build and the judging
16
process?
seconds.
I am. Woo!
Alrighty.
All right, count down with us.
Left, so we're going to
Leave
go ahead
Man
and
City
count
out
down
of this. Okay. All right.
from 5,
4, 3.
Oh, this is not distracting at all, is it?
1.
God. Well, they made it.
Give it up for the contestants and our hard work. Make sure you go over to Twitter and Instagram. Let us know what you've been thinking using the hashtag #IronViz. Take a selfie of the.
Yeah, let us know in the chat as well which ones you enjoyed.
Well, we
haven't seen any. We haven't seen any, but.
Yeah, I wish we had some Bam Bams.
Oh, God.
I know, where are ours?
I really hope.
We are going to
How
hear
are people
from
going to
each of the
vote virtually?
contestants as they present their viz.
I don't understand.
Everyone, because the voting is going to open after they're done. They'll have up to 4
They need to see the
minutes,
vizzes.
and we
At
are
this
going to
bit,
go
when we
ahead
go
and
through the
start with
vizzes, they
CJ.
have to
CJ,
show
take
us
it
the
away.
vizzes.
Judges, data fam. Misconceptions from the grapevine. Inspired by the book Factfulness by Hans Rosling, I create a fruitful play at how historical and generational bias change our perception of the world.
Please show us the viz. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Within my viz, I focus at the world, continent, and country level with a case study of South Africa.
Yeah.
I narrow the dataset to 2 global indicators of life expectancy and adult literacy rate from the year I was born in 1997 through to the modern day. Whilst we can't assume causation, we see the positive relationship between these
younger
two.
than me.
Using colour, I highlight South Africa's above global average literacy rate and booming life expectancy. After the end of the apartheid, South Africa saw an increase in government spending on education, as well as greater access to education for black South Africans specifically. The violin chart takes a global view, split by quadrant of the world. The line highlights the earliest record, whilst the polygon is the current life expectancy.
Right.
Notice how Africa sees a monumental 18% increase in life expectancy. Now, all countries in Africa have a minimum life expectancy of 50, with a quadrant average of 67. Just 3 years
really
shy
cool.
of the
Do you
other
think this has any
regions
interaction?
who are now starting to bunch
It's not got to it yet.
at the top. That one didn't go well. Okay, cool.
I get it. Great. I'm laughing.
Go with the puns.
Great. My final section of the newspaper. My final section of the newspaper displays Africa's literacy rates. 13 of the countries now have a literacy rate higher than the global average, predominantly in the south of Africa.
Right.
For my case study, through colour again, I highlight South Africa's increase in literacy rate, now at 94%. Having had the opportunity to dive into the data, focusing on the dates of our lifetime, I realise how history sometimes warps our perceptions. As a room full of analysts and storytellers, I want to impart upon you the importance of finding the truth and not being misled. I'm glad to have found how Africa has developed. Thank you.
Thank you, CJ.
That was a
Good
cool
viz.
speech.
Good viz. I wonder if you're watching this
Well done,
virtually,
CJ.
I wonder if
Absolutely
what we couldn't see is
fantastic.
because
Okay, we're
of
going
the
to go to
virtual
the judges, one
experience.
question each. So, Taha, what have you got to ask
But
CJ?
yeah, Ravi and a few others.
I've been
sort of
dying to
agreeing.
ask this question. CJ, how the hell did you make that map?
How'd you make those points?
A lot of data prep. So what you'll see
Hey.
is there's 5 different layers
Can't
to this.
Carl.
4 different layers to this chart. The first is a polygon, and so this is actually about 100 different
move us
points
out of the way so
using
we can see
different
the corner.
mathematics functions and a path to draw it as a polygon. And then the gauge chart, I really nerded out on. If you click into the points, you'll see that I've taken the raw data set and densified the data to have 100 points for each percentage mark.
Right.
I've then used trigonometry.
All in
trigonometry
20
and
minutes?
duplicated those 100 marks and scaled them
Jesus.
outwards and then joined them with a line.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you,
That's,
Taha.
Alrighty.
absolutely
We are
crazy.
going to move on for
Yeah.
the 6th time.
Drawing with
Kimberly,
numbers,
let's
they
hear
call
your
that.
presentation.
Thank you, Danica.
Gonna move us back
Hello,
and
everyone.
then disable these. So here we go.
My viz is a personal story. It's a story of what could have been if circumstances were different. I am Cambodian Australian, but I'm also a child of refugees born in a refugee camp. I've always wondered what my life would have been like if we had returned to Cambodia after the war, had we not come to Australia. Let's explore this using data.
Oh, cool.
We can measure a country's quality of education by its literacy rate. That is the percentage of the population over the age of 15 who can read, write, and understand a simple statement about their everyday life. We can see here, up here in blue, Australia's literacy rate sits at 99%. That's pretty high, huh? Compare that to Cambodia, down
Ooh, I
here
like
in
the
orange,
torch.
at 73.9%.
Shining a light.
However, there is a lot behind Cambodia's literacy rate. It's skewed by its majority younger population. 95% of the population are under the age of 65. Many of the older generation had their education cut short because of the war, and many more refugees didn't return home. They decided to settle in another country in search of a better life, such as my family. So what impacts literacy rate? When we look at total government expenditure on education, we can see that Australia spends 5.5% of its GDP on education.
So
That
the
may not
story is
seem like
revealing
much,
itself.
but consider
Temporarily?
Is this us or is
that
it
Cambodia
them?
only
stream
spends
then.
2.6% investing in education. But what else is there? In Cambodia, while the expected number of years of schooling is just under 12 years, in reality, the children of Cambodia are dropping out just before 5 years. So the children of Cambodia are not getting a high school education. 76% of its population live rurally, which is impacted by poverty and lacks basic infrastructure. Gender roles also plays a role in the shorter length of schooling.
Right.
Australia, on the other hand, expects adults to have around 20 years of schooling. Higher education is common. I myself studied for a further 4 years after I finished high school. Would I have left school in grade 5 if I had lived in Australia? We can see how education impacts a country. Australia's population has a life expectancy of 82.5 years, while in Cambodia the life expectancy is 68.75 years. My dad just turned 67 this year. We see fertility rates lower for Australia compared to Cambodia. Women in Australia are having children later, they're having fewer children, or not having children at all. The average age of first-time mothers in Australia is 29 years old. The average age of first-time mothers in Cambodia is 21.9 years. I had my first child when I was 30. And lastly, we see a huge gap in economic output in terms of GDP per capita between the two countries. These outcomes may not be the direct result of literacy rate alone, but we can see that quality education impacts both the individual and their country. Cambodia's situation has improved significantly over the last decade, but if my family had returned there after the war, I would not have had the same opportunities that I've had. Amongst other things, education plays a huge part in who I am today, and without it, I wouldn't be here today telling you my story.
Wow.
Education is a human right, yet millions of children around the world lack access to quality education. I want to leave you today with a quote from the world's youngest Nobel Prize winner and female education activist, Malala Yousafzai. One child, one teacher, one book and one pen can change the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Cool.
All right.
Very good, yeah.
We are going to...
I wonder if she told too much about
Kimberly.
story. If that makes
We are
sense.
going to take a question from Jock.
I totally love the flashlight
Yeah,
image at the
me too.
top. Thank you for scrolling back up, because data can help us see the world. Tell us about the journey that you came to that part of your design.
Yeah, so the flashlight is basically just that. It's helping to draw the focus on the two countries that are highlighted in my viz. You know, in the data set we had heaps of countries in there, but I liked the imagery of the flashlight to shine a light. So I drew this little girl up in the corner here. This is me, shining a light and showing everyone that these are the two countries that are really close to my heart and influence who I am.
Yeah, I really enjoy the simplicity here.
Kimberly.
It's really good.
Yeah, I like it.
You're up.
Okay, it is time for our final presentation. Will, are you ready? Okay, go.
Let's go.
Thanks, Andy. Hi, data fam.
Hey.
When I was reviewing the data sets, I learned something, and that was that literacy doesn't just benefit the student, it benefits everyone around them. In this demo, I'm going to walk you through 20 years of closing the youth literacy gap. We'll look at where we were, where we are today, and what we can do in the future. So if we go back to 2002, the world was a different place. We were just having the internet in homes, we were watching Lord of the Rings in the cinema, and in the world of education, we had the Maastricht Global Education Declaration that said for a globalized world, we need a globalized education system, and that education should be seen as a human right and available to everyone. So I've got a question for you. I've got 100 young people on screen here from all around the world. How many of them do you think can read and write? Well, 87 can, which means 13 are illiterate, which means they can't read or write. They're going to have reduced opportunities in work and education. I mean, how do you read a textbook, or how do you write a CV for a job application? You can't. And when we look at gender, we see more issues, where women are much more likely to be illiterate than men. And this was the world in 2002.
This is almost like story mode in Tableau, right?
It is, but it's used
with parameters.
In 2002, we see, yes, literacy rates did improve, the gender gap came down, but after 10 years...
Oh, no, it's the story feature. Sorry, you're right. Because it's one
No,
dashboard.
Well, what I wanted to share...
Oh, it's not the
data
story.
was
Sorry, you're
people
right.
and their stories. So
it's dashboard.
Here I've gathered 3 different stories from around the world. The
This
charts
is
show
technically
where
quite cool.
countries that
But
were in
hold on.
2002 below the average literacy levels. The
It
colour
has to be a
lines
story,
indicate a
because
country
how's it
that
going-
improved literacy
just
rates.
enabling
The grey
certain
lines
sheets with a
He is using a parameter, right,
and
at
the
the bottom
benefits are really clear to see.
to
So we saw in India that
trigger
educating
some
students
stuff.
like Tanvi brought more women into India's workforce, boosting their
already a little
economic
bit of
output.
debate in the
We
chat
saw in
about who's gonna
Zambia
win.
that educating students like Levy about the risks of HIV and AIDS meant they were less likely to be affected, extending their life expectancy.
This is really good from Mel as well.
And we saw in Nepal that school became actually a protective force from students like Rani falling into child marriages, which then meant they would have more opportunities in their future rather than just being a parent. And in that country, we saw the fertility rate decline. In each of these cases, literacy didn't just benefit the student, it benefited everyone around them. In India, everybody got wealthier. In Zambia, everyone was living longer. And in Nepal, we were redefining women's role in society. So back to 2002, let's bring this picture up to date. So today, with a bit of forecasting, we can see sort of a similar increase, literacy going up, gender gap coming down. But what I care about is these 7 people here. Is it going to be
Jesse, I
another
think
20
it
or so
is showing
years
hide
before we can
containers
reach them?
with parameters somewhere.
Well, when we dive into the data a bit further, we see that literacy is not like evenly distributed around the world. It's very
How did
concentrated in
that-
parts
oh,
of
God.
Africa and
I have to
Asia.
download this to look at
In
it.
this map, I've highlighted countries with below average literacy
Yeah,
levels.
this whole
The worst affected countries
explanation
in
is
dark
pre-written,
orange,
of course.
Where 2 out of 3 youths are illiterate. And using the interaction in Tableau, we can dive in further with the data. So when I click on Chad, I can see that 73% of youths are illiterate. But now we can actually understand the benefits if they did become a global at the global average literacy rate. So
Yeah,
they
it
could
might be
be
sheet swapping,
around 5
yeah.
times wealthier, live 14 years longer, and have 2 children per woman instead of 5. So I would encourage you to support literacy programs in these areas. By doing so, you're not just benefiting the students, you're benefiting the people around them, and you're creating a fairer education system for a globalized world. Thank you.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, you can do sheet swapping now with like floating
Congratulations,
objects
Will.
as well, right? So that's probably what's happening
Just a quick
here.
reminder, get your phones ready to be phone voting, because it's going to be a relatively brief window. So
The
get your
Viz
phones out
shrunk
at
from
the
the
ready
whole
to do
page
the
to
phone
that
voting.
top right
But
corner. So
Hannah,
I'm wondering how it did
do you have
that.
a question for Will?
I think when you're presented with a data set, there's always a really tough choice between whether you present the bird's eye view or, as I like to call it, the worm's eye view. Talk to me about how you made the choice to include the countries that you chose.
You want to put us
and
back
that
on the
sort of
screen?
balance.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I really started off on that global picture of where we were in 20 years ago and saw there was an incentive to try and improve literacy rates. I then saw that when we actually look at the data on the whole perspective, that's not really happening. I then tried to
Steve,
talk
you
back
might be
to
onto
actually,
something.
These aren't just numbers, these are
one map.
These are lives that are being improved. So
but
I kind of did a bit of both.
Text,
So I started with the top down and then sort of actually drill it back to the human, what the impact is for them. So kind of a bit of both, I think.
You have to wait till they're published, I guess.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now we've heard from our contestants and the judges along with Hannah, but it is not just about the audience here in Vegas. Everyone can take part. Data fam watching from home, you'll also be able to vote for your favorite Viz.
Yeah, you can all vote on Twitter and Instagram.
But first, here's Archana coming to us again from her home in London to share with us all of the important terms and conditions.
Nice.
Hello again, everyone, and what an exciting showdown that was. Congratulations to
It's like
CJ,
Eurovision
Kimberly,
here.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Will on getting through their builds. But this time, I'm here for a very serious job, which calls for a very serious outfit. It's the terms and conditions, so listen up. Standard text messaging rates apply according to your cellular provider plan. Poll Everywhere does not charge for text message responses. Audience members outside of the US and Canada will not incur long-distance texting charges, though other charges may apply. For the US and Canada, the text voting number is 37607. For the rest of the world, the text voting number is +1 747 444 3548. Got it? Back to you, Danica and Andy.
They changed the feed.
Thank you, Archana. Hello to Archana and Lisa who are watching at home.
Right.
Okay, everybody in the audience, you know the numbers. Vote by text is going to be open in 1 second. Just one thing to say. There's no hashtag. There are hashtags on those podiums. Ignore the hashtags. Right. Voting is open now. Get voting.
If you think CJ should win, text
IV22 CJ.
If you think Kimberly
don't
should
add the
win,
hashtag.
text
Don't add the hashtag when you.
Kimberly. And if you think Will should win, text
IV22.
Will.
That's right. Okay, we're going to visit with our Sue Vizzes while you're voting. For one last time, they are going to make a pitch for their contestant.
Keep the number on screen.
Doris, why should it be CJ?
Iron Viz is voted on 3 aspects: storytelling, design, and analytics. And even in this audience, only few would be able to recreate these technically masterful Vizzes with such a beautiful design and compelling analytical story. So CJ has aced it on all 3 aspects. And that's why CJ is my champion.
Excellent. All right, Nina.
Yeah, I agree, Jesse. It's,
What are we saying for Kimberly?
Kimberly has come to the Iron Viz
I'm gonna
stage
retweet
today,
Sarah's,
only to show you what she can do. with
Yeah, I'll put
data.
the link in our chat, but I'm not sure we can share that with everyone, right?
No.
And I think it's undeniable
I'll go to YouTube
that she's done so
and post it there.
succinctly, eloquently, and beautifully. And listen, everyone, after all you've seen today, you can certainly be very impressed with a bunch of grapes or some flying people. But you are going to walk away remembering what Kimberly has shared with you and how she's inspired you to find your own story. And that is the power of data, and that is why Kimberly's going to win Iron Viz 2022. Go, Kimberly!
Who's voting IV?
Woo, it's getting hot in here.
Yeah, the temperature just got a little higher. Okay, voting is going to close in a minute. So, Mark,
Oh, really?
you going to
I've
take
hacked
that?
the process, so it's on screen now.
So, Will took a very complex data set and focused on the human element. The fact that every data point is a human life, and that when we affect change on the individual, it also affects change around them. Now, Will employed not only original features to Tableau and used them in new and effective ways, but also used new features like animation and map layers to really tell an effective story in a beautiful design, and his storytelling was superb. So I think we should probably crumple up the newspaper, turn off the flashlight, and crown Will champion.
Whoa!
Yeah!
Is this a WWE
Oh, my
stage? What
word.
is happening here? What is happening? Thank you so much, Mark. All right, everyone. Just one more minute before voting by text ends. To vote for CJ, text.
IV22 CJ.
If you're voting for Will, text.
IV22 Will.
And if you're voting for Kimberly, text.
IV22 Kimberly.
The winner will be crowned 2022 Iron Viz champion and receive $10,000 in prize money, with another $5,000 going to the charity of their choice.
So I have to say, Danica, this has been an impressive set of finalists this year. Do you think it's going to be close?
Yeah, which means every vote counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully you've done it once, and you've already done it by now. Has everybody voted? Yeah, because we're closing the votes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, that's it. It's time to tally up the votes to see what we have learned about today's vizzes.
All right, so while we're waiting for the tally to be done, you know what? It's fitting that this year's data set was about education. You may not know, but Iron Viz has a secondary competition, Student Iron Viz, and that is made up entirely of students enrolled at academic institutions across the world.
To tell us more about it, please welcome to the stage the winners of the 2022 Iron Viz Student Edition from the University of Maryland, Michael Dunphy.
Very cool.
Amazing.
From the Georgia Institute of Technology, Nivedita Mathon Kumar. And
Youngest
from the
Iron
University
Viz,
of Wisconsin, say hello to Alex Johnson.
Must be amazing.
All right, I have a brief minute with these amazing students, so I'm just going to go ahead and go down the line and ask a question. Michael, what inspired you to learn Tableau?
Thank you. I was inspired by the community, you all, right? Seeing the vizzes on Tableau Public, seeing the amazing creators spotlighted through things like Viz of the Day, seeing the level of dedication and enthusiasm for competitions within the community like Iron Viz. I guess what I'm trying to say is the community, the DataFam community, has so much passion for data, right? Data analytics, data visualization, data storytelling, and I guess that enthusiasm just wore off on me. So here I am, excited and ready to learn even more about Tableau. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
All right. Nivedita, what was it like entering the Student Iron Viz competition?
I was very excited. I enjoy participating in competitions, given their structured projects, problem statements, and motivating deadlines. And I found the Student Iron Viz a great way to practice my data viz skills, especially with all the guidance from the previous winners and from the other community members.
Thank you. Wow.
That's really good. Yeah.
All right, Alex,
Amazing confidence.
you're a Tableau student ambassador. Can you tell us about that program?
Yeah, as a student ambassador, my main responsibility is to inspire and empower other students to build their data skills in Tableau. To do this, we facilitate opportunities for growth through training and engagement events such as workshops and local data visualization competitions such as Iron Viz.
Amazing.
Similar
Thank
to
you. You're all on a great path, and I hope to see you on this stage in the future. Give it up again for the winners
Amazing.
of the 2022 Iron Viz Student Edition. Thank you.
Yeah.
My sound effects stopped working.
Oh, they stopped again. Okay.
All right, well, the energy has been absolutely incredible. It's so nice to be back on stage and live with you all.
Truly, truly. An outstanding year and a remarkable example of Tableau being used by some of its finest practitioners. I've been amazed this entire time.
Yeah. So, I believe scores have been tallied from the judges. They've made their decision. And I think the community votes have been tallied as well.
Yeah, the community votes have also
Dun,
been
dun,
tallied.
dun.
It's time. Do you want to find out who the winner is?
I do. Yeah, I do.
May I have a golden envelope,
The music
please?
is a lot better than yesterday,
Hurrah!
Nikino.
A golden envelope. Ooh. Thank you.
Okay, no one spoil it before it's
All
announced.
right,
If
contestants.
you're watching it live, do not spoil it.
Do not spoil anything in the chat, Ravi.
Before we announce the winner, Amazing job, right?
I might
Thank you to our judges.
hide the chat.
Thank you to Lisa at home and to Hannah.
Yeah, hide the chat, please.
Thank you to my co-host, Archana Ganeshalingam, who is watching from home. Hello.
I'll get spoiled.
Thank you to Lisa. Thank you to the vizzes. Thank you to the contestants for a dazzling display. And thank you to everybody here for bringing the energy and amazing screens. Thank you.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Really good. Really good.
Also, yes. Also,
Katrina,
a big
thanks
shout
for the
out to our
props.
sponsors, and in particular today's diamond sponsor, our partners at Interworks, for help making this event possible.
All right.
Wait,
Shout
we
out.
have news. We have news.
One more thing.
Good news.
Oh no, not a draw
Had a good
again.
time at Tableau Conference this year.
Oh, they're going to announce the next one, maybe.
That's good.
Oh, next year, Vegas again?
Would you like to do it again next year? That is good. I'm delighted to tell you all that Tableau Conference will be back in spring 2023. We'll announce, yes.
Good.
More details will be announced soon, but I cannot wait to see you all again next year. All right, that's enough tension building. Let's get this done. All right,
That was a bit of a
okay.
bit of
In third
suspense
place,
there.
receiving $2,000 in prize money and a $1,000 donation to charity is CJ.
Amazing. You did a pretty cool
Amazing.
race.
That leaves Kimberly and Will. One of you will
Who's
be
gonna
this
win?
year's 2022 Iron Viz champion. Now in second place, ready to take home $5,000 in prize money with another $2,000 going to charity is Kimberly.
Oh,
You win
so close. Will has won.
2022
What an announcement. Okay, so no one actually really spoiled that much yet. Well done.
Will. Here I come. I'm coming. Here I come. All right, Will. You get to take home the top prize of $10,000, and Tableau sending $5,000 to the UNHCR. How does it feel?
Oh, it's incredible. Thank
I will
you,
get the
Data
chat back
Fam.
up.
All right, thank you. Yeah, you heard it.
All right.
Amazing.
Congratulations, everybody. That is it for Iron Viz 2022. So long, everybody. Danica, let's bring it home.
Until next year.
Class dismissed. Take care.
That was so good.
Wow, what a relief must that be for everyone, right?
All right.
All right.
Okay, are these things on Tableau Public yet?
Welcome back,
I think they take a couple of days now.
Amazing. We're coming to you live from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, and whoa, what did we just watch, Terry?
I know, was it everything you expected?
It was amazing and more.
That was pretty
we
cool.
Were all decked out with our bam bams.
Let's
It was
see.
so exciting.
I don't think they'll be on public for a while.
CJ, Will, and Kimberly.
It normally comes a few days later.
I mean, my hands are still sweaty from like watching that.
All on red,
Did you
one
have a hard
time.
time voting?
Yeah.
I mean, they were all amazing, and like the talent.
The talent. And for me personally, out of the three,
Yeah, that's a good point,
I
Steve.
Really, really
if you have to
liked
guess how something's
Kimberly's
done, if it leaves you thinking,
Not to be
that's
biased,
that's
'cause
probably
she's
a good sign
fellow
that they've
Aussie,
really pushed the
but
boundaries. So
no,
yeah.
but, you know, with the torch, it was amazing. But then
Andre, do you know
I
someone
did really
called
like
Aldino?
CJ's grapes analogy.
I think that's Alden, yeah.
Yeah. Saying hi to you.
Yeah, I
Stand
see
up
it.
guy.
Hello.
I really, really loved it. Anything about those vizzes
Yeah,
that you
I remember
really
that.
liked or
Turn the stream into Andre Appreciation.
Definitely was there. And then obviously the story with Kinley.
That was pretty cool.
Kinley was great. But
Well
Will,
deserved,
I
I
mean,
agree,
when you take a
Trina.
look at
Very
how
cool,
he
very
told the full picture in data and the way you could visualize it from start to finish. I mean,
Very,
that
very
was
cool.
just it was awesome to watch, and that's why we do what we do, and that's how people can make great decisions and great actions.
Exactly, and I think it's just crazy to think that it's actually three components that make a great.
Right. So
Is it?
I'm
Storytelling,
gonna
and
leave the
just-
stream now.
It was just actually just
Oh,
really
just turn
crazy
it
to be
down.
here. Oh, in person.
Yeah, I'll just focus on us. So super interesting. I really like that. Just a shame about the virtual direction there. I think they missed a trick with not showing us enough screen sort of footage, as it were. But when they went through the visualizations, we did get to see the final vizzes, so that was good. I think the key of Iron Viz is seeing how it's built. That's where we sort of answer all the questions about whether or not they're using parameters or stories. You know, all of that would have been obvious to us, and it really sort of showcases how to put that together. So if at all possible, I'd love Tableau to re-edit the footage they've captured to have something a little bit more inclusive. Maybe put out all the 3 different screen recordings if they were captured or something like that.
What you could do is like have the main screen, like where they're doing the tableauing, and then have like what we're doing here with like little faces on the bottom.
Yeah,
you can actually see, because sometimes there were the Viz people, the people that were standing next to them, they were talking and the screen was on them, and actually we don't want that. We want to see all the time the screens, and then if people talk, make them small.
Let me show you what they did last year. This is what they did last year. So I'll put it on. So this is what they did last year, right? So we had like the presenters, because it was virtual. Maybe this is why they had to do it. They had the presenters on the left and the right, and we always had a viz showing on the screen. And they cycled through the vizzes. But what I think I was suggesting is this kind of setup where we could simultaneously always see the 3 different perspectives. And also when the judges are speaking, just having, there's actually very little, here we go, let's go back a few seconds here. Yeah, just there like this. So even when the judges are speaking, of course it's virtual, so maybe that's why this was done this way. Always having the viz on screen, essentially, right?
Was this live? I didn't watch it last year. I think was this
last
live?
year it was pre-recorded but played as live. But they didn't know the winner until the actual thing, if that makes sense.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
So that was 2021, and then if I go search Iron Viz, did we have one in 2020?
That was Tableau Conference-ish, I think. That was that separate conference which was on this new platform that we're testing out.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Let me show 2019, because there we were in person.
Yeah, we were in person back then. Yeah.
So I wonder if maybe we're expecting too much.
Yeah, I think it's
interesting actually. Yeah, that's actually the case. So I'm just, don't know if you can see me scrobbling through the this is how I'm sort of watching the video. I'm just scrobbling through, and you can see there's very little on-screen footage.
Yeah, I think because back then we were in the audience, so it was a different experience.
Yeah.
But that back then they didn't have to facilitate a virtual audience, right? So back then there was no virtual audience, but this year, the first time, it's like hybrid.
Right.
So I think we need to cut them a little bit slack, but
yeah, exactly. I think I was being overly harsh. Maybe because we're more virtual now, we're all sort of higher expectations. But I've sort of dug into that now. I've answered it. I'll keep quiet. So yeah, really cool Iron Viz. I'm definitely going to watch it again. I want to try and see the vizzes once they've been published on Tableau Public. It's definitely a good way to try and understand what's going on and just see how some of the vizzes work as well. So definitely something I'll do. I'm just going to load up Tableau Public now. Seeing as we're here, if you're completely new to Tableau, let me log in first so you all don't see my password. Let me just log in. For anyone who's expecting great things from my Tableau Public, I barely spend time in Tableau Public.
Saying that in the Slack channel, I'm seeing people saying like, this is amazing. I'm really questioning my own Tableau skills, but I don't think you should because the Tableau is very much first a business intelligence tool where you quickly get answers for your business, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, Will has and all the others have been practicing.
For years,
I remember for years this, and also they've been practicing. I don't know how many sessions they went to yesterday. They might have been practicing this in the hotel rooms the whole time. I remember that when Hashem was doing that back in 2019. So I wouldn't see this as being like, oh, my Tableau Public is not great. I would definitely see it maybe as an inspiration to go down.
And if you see something and you're like, oh, how on earth has that been built? I'm just trying to find CJ's one here. So this was actually Viz of the Day. So this is what got CJ into the Iron Viz final, right? So if you want to see how this was built, go to the Viz, number one,
Yep.
and enjoy the Viz, use the Viz, see the interaction, make notes about how you think things work before you open it. Because once you open it, you've kind of spoiled the surprise for yourself. So make a mental note. How do you think something works? Just try and really understand what's on the Viz. Then go here to the top right-hand side. I'm just highlighting it right now. Just go to that and select make a copy. Now, when you do this, Tableau Public throws you into the editing experience, and once you're there, you can essentially just start interacting with it in the browser.
Does this automatically give credit to the person that you're kind of copying it from?
It does, it does.
Okay, cool.
When you publish this to your profile, which you really shouldn't, you should download it, use it to learn, and then delete it, whatever. But if you were to save this on your profile, it says inspired by the original author of the version that you copied, essentially. So you can go in here, and now you can see how everything is built. So I always recommend breaking down a Viz by looking at the interaction first, then understanding the individual components that drive that interaction. So there's a lot of text here that's been designed outside of Tableau. So if I double click this text box, it's actually an image. So if I go into the sheet, you'll see there's an intro text overlay, and is this am I making that up, or it's a background image? I'm pretty certain that is the case because there's nothing in here.
It's all the way on the... Wait, where is it?
Is it like tiny somewhere that I can't see? No, it's not behind my light. I've got a light in front of my screen, which sounds ridiculous, but where is this text coming from? Now I've been completely stumped. The first thing I click on.
Yeah, Paul Manoop in the chat is saying that he wants a Tableau server edition for the Iron Viz.
Tableau server edition. That's
like upgrade a 2-node cluster and see what's happening, right?
That would be a good YouTube series, actually. Take 4 Tableau server gurus and then do like a 30-minute troubleshooting series and see how they fix the problem and like what they think the problem is. So just for context, the reason why I've been stumped is because there's actually a transparent sheet in front of the actual text, because this is just a background. So the text has been laid onto a background, and the visualization is actually over here. So there's a little bit of synergy with Figma and laying this all out.
This is probably not the best Viz to start learning the product, right? Nothing to discredit its visualization, but
here's a fun story. Before I joined the Information Lab, actually when I joined the Information Lab, Tom Brown, founder and director of the Information Lab, told me to go and download and unpick the last 30 Viz of the days, and I think he gave me like a week to go and do it. So I spent like, I think I spent 5 days just basically opening Vizzes, just being constantly confused, and the first 2 took me about a couple of hours to get my head around. But what starts to happen if you keep doing that, after a few days, you start to see the same techniques coming up again and again. And this is back in Tableau. What were we on? Like Tableau version 7 or something. So the feature set was nowhere near as complex. But even then, it took me quite a while to get to grips with it. And you do get there. So you just have to be persistent and sort of push forward with your approach and just keep at it. And eventually you'll get there. So definitely something to do. Go to Tableau Public, check it out, and try and unpick the Vizzes. Let's have a look at some of the chat. So
someone in the Slack asked about the Slack channel that I keep mentioning. Is it's the one if you sign up as a virtual attendee and you go to the main website /connect. There's a way to launch the Slack channel, which is really useful because they have they are linked to the sessions. So if you click on say connect, there's like a link to go there.
Launch Slack.
And that should then open up all of your Slack channels.
Amazing. So I'll log in.
They correspond with the sessions that are live. So what I've done, for example, this afternoon when the European sessions were going, I basically have the Slack channel open. You can see all the comments nicely coming in. They change the topic. It's a really good experience to see all of that. So this was what I was like monitoring while we were watching this.
Exactly.
It's really good. The experience with combining Slack with watching us and watching the conference. I think that's next year we need an integration with Slack so people can from within Slack comment on our
To be honest, Slack just needs to host the live stream. It's kind of weird that Slack doesn't have a live stream hosting capability that we could all just go into, right?
Slack does have you can share videos, but that's just for like internal working. It's like a maximum of 3 minutes, I think. You can quickly create videos. It's Slack has some really neat features though that can make building a community a lot easier. Yeah.
But it has like we have 59,700 people in this channel, so it clearly does have some sort of event-like capabilities that can be run as well.
So this is linked to the main website as well, so people will land on this if they sign up virtually.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because you can start like pinning things to the channel as well. So for example, now you can see. Yesterday, when we had the problems with the Spanish translator, we could see what was going on. Instant feedback as well from the Tableau team. So I think this is a really good experience to have like this Slack channel.
Yeah, they should allow us to create our channels. Can we do that?
I'm not sure.
That would be a really cool feature. Just to allow
there
us
is
to create
like
channels.
the cool thing as well. There's like a Slack channel called Tableau Product IDs. So if you click on Add a Channel and then you go to the Product IDs one. That one, and then join the channel, and then you have these workflows at the bottom. So if you go to the bottom left, there's this like plus icon, and then you can actually submit an actual idea here, and then people can reply on that. So it's all like neatly you fill in a form. So it's like a Slack workflow that you fill in. So yeah, lots of businesses are using this as well for like their own internal processes. But this is kind of cool to see what kind of features people want and product ideas. What do you want? Do you want black mode?
I just want to be able to
Dark
change
mode.
the canvas.
Change the canvas. Okay.
So we're just watching Iron Viz. That's what they were all doing, but we all can't see what's going on because everyone creates white text on a white background. So you have to wait for them to drag it. So I'm just submitting this as an idea, right? While I'm right here. So I don't. What if this goes into the ideas page? How does this impact your work today? It doesn't. At this point, I'm not going to finish filling this in because I was hoping it would be a lot less. Maybe I can just submit it.
Yeah, you can submit it probably.
Write something. What is your role at your company? Just submit it. There you go.
Boom, there you go.
The idea's gone. So
that's pretty cool. Neat, right?
Yeah, exactly. So be sure to check out some of the other connection features as well. There's the community pages as well. Go to the photo booth. Let's see what people are doing in the photo booth. I love this because I think people take photos, but they don't actually realize there's a central place where they turn up. So I'll take a photo now and I'll just do something quick. Here we go. Hey. All right. Okay. There we go. Accept. That's going to go straight to the live stream. Oh, we got to customize it, don't we? So I'll just. Oh no, it couldn't find me. Oh God, come on. I have like.
I think you need a better camera.
If that doesn't work, I'm just going to give up. Come on. Here we go. Oh wow! It even cut up my microphone. That's some pretty good AI. That just looks weird. Anyway, let's just do this. Let's put Tableau Conference destination data on the top left. What does this say? Chart your course. I'll do that way. Okay, submit. And that should be it. Gallery. There we go. That's what I actually needed. So here we go. And you can see all the profile pics. There's some pretty funny ones in here as well. So if you keep going back, you'll see dogs appearing in there as well. I absolutely love that.
We need a banner for next year saying, watch this at Tim's channel.
That's true. I should sort of game the photo booth with just a sign of some sort. It has to look like a person to the AI though. That would be a pretty tough gig. But absolutely.
No, but I mean like one of the stickers, just one of the stickers that people can use.
I see.
This was a serious comment.
You're actually suggesting an idea.
Yeah, I'm suggesting a real idea.
There I am thinking you're taking the mic.
No.
So many wonderful faces at conference. It's great to see the diversity. It's great to see lots of people, lots of different places. And
lots of dogs as well.
Lots of dogs, lots of toys, lots of kids. Love it. So get involved with the photo booth. as well. So let me close that down. What else should we highlight at conference? Obviously the hashtag Data22. We've actually loved the live streams as well. This is the last live stream that at least we're doing. I need to do one more of the Viz gallery, which I'll probably do later today at some point, really late after I've edited a few videos. If I go to, actually, let me check one thing. Really, really cool. I think a video that I uploaded is ready. So here we go. Yeah. So very, very soon I'm going to make this video live. It's the keynote roundup, essentially in 20 minutes. So I watched the keynote and I've summarized it in 20 minutes. So I'll be dropping that straight after the live stream. So if you want a roundup, you didn't catch the keynote, or you want to revisit it with timestamps, we've got that there. And we've also got the actual live stream we did yesterday, the 2-hour live stream up on the channel. We've had 1,000 views, Andre. Absolutely epic.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
I sat and I religiously did all the timestamps and the
wow.
notes as well from it. So if you want to jump around, it's all there and easy to do. And we've also got the timestamp here, so you can jump around to different parts of the keynote and watch that. The chat also sort of plays back. So when you start to watch the video, the chat will appear here as well. So that will be cool. And the same will happen with the stream at some point this week as well. So thank you. Good stuff. So, Andre, thank you for joining me this time round. Thank you for being a co-host. It's been absolutely fantastic. My lights are running out all around me. I've had them on for so long. This one's completely gone. So I lost a couple on the floor behind me as well. So we've been streaming for a really, really long time. But again, thank you so much for being here and being a good co-host. Has been really, really fun.
No, this was lots of fun, and thanks for having me on.
Good stuff.
And thanks to everyone in the chat as well. Really cool.
Good. All right. Say farewell, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. 36 of you still watching, at least on YouTube and wherever else you're watching. Thank you. Stay tuned for more. And catch you soon. Take it easy.